podcast, Southern Dirt Motorsports. I'm Steve Winstead, the host, and today coming from downtown Rickman, Tennessee. Normally we're doing a recording at Northfield Winery, 515 Ray Cemetery Road, Sparta, Tennessee, and we're just trying something out new this time. This is the first time I've ever tried to record on Skype, and I've got the honor and pleasure of interviewing Mr. Wayne Sutherland with the Vintage Outlaws. And also, before we get started, I would also like to add this is the first podcast in Tennessee that is devoted to dirt track racing. Wayne, welcome to the program.
Hey, man, good to talk to you today.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Vintage Outlaws. This has really got my interest up. Before we get started, I appreciate Wayne's patience and Sherry's patience. We've been working on this thing probably a month, maybe longer, for me to try to get my system worked out. Hopefully we got it worked out, and I appreciate y'all's patience. Tell us a little bit about the Vintage Outlaws as far as when did you get started, and how did you come up with the idea of it?
Well, in 2020, we had a couple guys show up to track with some old looking cars. I didn't know what they was, and I went over and talked to them, and they was, I guess you call it just wanting to race older cars, and they kept trying to get me to build one. I told them, I said, well, now if I do this, we're going to race. We're not going to go out there and ride around, race for hot dogs during intermission,
Uh-huh.
And well, that was probably in 19. And then in 20, we started, I got with them and told them, I said, look, if I do this, I'm going to build a bunch of cars, and we're going to have enough cars to have a show.
Mm-hmm.
And I started talking to some of the tracks, and they really liked what we was thinking. So I just got it going, we started out the first year, I think we had 5 cars, and that was 2020. And it takes a little while to get it going, I can't build with so many cars. And so we got it we got it going pretty good now. We're up to about 16 cars total.
Are you the sole builder for all the cars?
No, anybody can build the cars, build their own cars. The biggest part of it is building them by the rules. They've got to be they got to look vintage, got to be a vintage like 69 or older.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a copy of the rules, should be here in a minute. I can talk to you about the rules a little bit more, but I don't. It's kind of hard to explain, but like we're trying to stay with the older look on the cars, and but we're actually running late model chassis.
Mm-hmm.
With the late model type tires and wheels, aluminum wheels, and I think the cars look good with the wide wheels and tires on them.
Oh, they do. I've looked at several pictures on your Facebook page, and I really like the looks of them cars. I really do. It takes me back to old school, back when I was going to the dirt track at Sparta watching the races, the 55, 56 Chevrolets and stuff like that. It takes me back.
Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, I was, 64s and 57 Chevrolets, 58 Fords. That's what they was racing back when I grew up, and it just takes you back in time, like I know y'all are all about the grassroots of racing, and
yeah,
we are too. We are as well.
Yes.
So it's just a lot of the people that comes to the races just loves our cars, and comes down and looks at them and wants their picture made with them, and it makes you feel good, and also it kind of keeps us at bay, you know, like where it keeps us trying to be more grassroots and getting the crowd into it, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of little kids come down there and just, what kind of car is that? You know, they, and you tell them, and they say, well, that's old, ain't it? And I say, yeah. A little boy come down last night wanting me to sign his hero card, and he said, what year model is that car? I said, it's a '68 Camaro, and he said, wow. He said, that's old, ain't it? And I said, yeah, I guess it would be to you. He's probably about 12 years
You think
old,
so?
13. Yeah, it ain't that old to us, but uh, and you know, a lot of times when we go to a track, some of them people had never saw cars that old. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you
especially
got
young.
younger generation,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just a sight for them. But uh, we're like I said, we're all about the grassroots also. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
like and if we don't get more people involved in a lot of these races, a lot of these racetracks gonna have to close down.
You know, when there used to be all kinds of dirt tracks around here. Of course, Crossville, Sparta, McMinnville, Winchester, Hillham up here above me, Buffalo Valley, and of course they're all gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've got a few around here that's went away. You know, quit having races and uh, flattened them out. You know, and made something else out of it.
Okay, let's say that somebody went to a race, Vintage Outlaws race, and they thought, man, I like that. I'd like to get into that. Get into that. How do you get in? Go back going into it. You,
Well, you just get a rule book and start building your car. You know, and go by the rules
mm-hmm.
and come out and practice and uh, race. I mean, that's all there are to it. Ain't, you don't have to have no special license or anything. You know.
uh
Uh,
Well, how expensive is it to build a car?
oh, it's not too bad. You know, you can usually pick up a body for $1,500, $2,000. You know, an old rusty body. It don't matter what it looks like when you buy it. You can fix it up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing what a welder and bondo can do.
Yeah,
You know,
a little bit of paint.
yeah, and a little bit of paint. But some of them, you know, some of the guys don't paint them; they leave them rusty looking, and that really looks good.
Yeah,
And they clear coat over the rust.
uh,
it,
make that
it,
rust shine.
yeah, and it really looks vintage. You know.
Yeah, it does. Well, I've got a copy of the rules right here in front of me, and we'll go over them
All
here.
righty. Yeah.
All right. It says, okay, the body, all bodies must resemble the year and make that you say it is. Any 1969 or older body. Roof must be made of steel or fiberglass from the belt line up. Must have original body style from belt line up. Belt line is determined from the first body line below the side window.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Aluminum sides are fine from the belt line down. Make sides look original as possible. Decking cannot be any wider than original body width. Uh,
Exactly.
okay. How do you know how wide the original was one to start with?
You measure one before you cut it.
Uh huh.
You know, in other words, the interior sheet metal has to be inside the door panels.
Uh huh.
You know, and you can't narrow the. I mean, you can't widen the car.
Uh huh.
Uh,
And right here's something that I really like. Uh, 1950 newer cars must have original looking front steel fenders. I really like that.
yeah, well, you know, back in the old days, the old coupes, they had to pull the front fenders off because they didn't have any clearance.
Yeah.
And then in the '50s, they started making the fenders up taller, and the car, a '50 model car, won't look right without the front fenders on it. But them old coupes, they still look good without the fenders on them. So that's why we did that. Uh, it was kind of keep the uh, 50 models and newer looking more like race cars.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right here's another one. No wings or spoilers, and can't look like a late model. I like that. I mean, if you get a car that looks like a late model, well, you're taking away from what you originally wanted them to look start with.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay. And engine rules, no fuel injectors, no crank triggers, no rear mount fuel pump, no rear mount power steering, no dry sump. And the blocks, GM, Ford, Chrysler blocks, only small blocks. Uh, must use a late model chassis, no sprint car frames, no center steers. Suspension, 3-link, 4-link, or 2-link, rear Z-link, or swing arm is okay. Transmission any type permitted. Uh,
Yeah, let me go back there just a second on that
all
rule.
right.
On the where you said blocks,
Yeah.
somewhere right there it says all steel block.
Uh,
It's got to be a steel block.
well, on right here, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
skipped over that. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah.
that's okay. I just
Must
want to
be
make
steel
sure.
block. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Now we can run aluminum heads, but we have to have a steel block.
Hmm. Okay. I think you elaborated to this earlier. Uh, touched on this a little bit. Tires and wheels, 8-inch or 14-inch wheels, any tire. Bead locks recommended on the right side. No weight limit. That intrigued me right there. So you can make them just as light as you want to or as heavy as you want to.
Right.
Right? And of course, you got to have seat belts and race suits and fire suits and fire extinguisher and full containment seat required. Keep you in place in the event of a wreck.
Yeah.
Do you, uh, do you have many mishaps at your races?
Nah, I mean we might have a few cautions, but not nothing serious, you know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we had one a couple years ago. We had a guy that it was one of my cars, uh, and the car you had to climb in the roof to get in it because there wasn't room on the side to get in it. The kind of body it was. It was a 37 Dodge,
Mm-hmm.
and or I think it was a Plymouth, but I always thought of Dodge and Plymouth as the same company. So
I always
uh,
thought it was.
yeah, and it was, I'm sure, but he had to climb in and out the roof, and he got upside down on the front stretch, and I was scared to death he's going, the car was going to catch on fire, and I just jumped out of my car and started trying to get him out. But he got out, and the car was leaking fuel out of the fuel cell, the overflow on the fuel cell. It was just dripping, and I just wanted to make sure he got out of it quick.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tracks got rules, you can't get out of the car. You don't. If you get out of your car, you go to you're disqualified. But in an incident like that, when it's your buddy and he's driving your car, you want him out of it, you're gonna pull up there and get him out regardless.
Exactly. Safety
You know,
first.
right? So
Safety first. Okay, I've got the schedule right here in front of me. I noticed you run quite a bit in North Alabama.
yeah, that's because that's where we all live at.
Right.
We all live in North Alabama, and there's tracks pretty close to us. And we try to book races other places, and we're not well known yet, but I
Oh,
think
you would be.
I think we might get there one day. We're trying real hard.
Well, I think you're doing a mighty good job. Where is the North Alabama track located at?
Well, it's in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Uh, it's off of Highway 72, like going toward Corinth, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
You go 7 miles out of Muscle Shoals east.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm wrong. West on 72,
Mm-hmm.
and 7 miles and turn left on Highway 247, and it's 1 mile on the left.
Okay, we'll go over some of these dates here. You just got through running at, I think, Tennessee National last night.
No, we were at North Alabama Speedway
North
last night.
Alabama. Okay, I'm a week behind. I'm sorry. How'd that race go? Who was your winners? And
We had Cruz Wallace won last night,
mm-hmm.
and Chase Newell finished second, and I finished third. Who finished fourth, Sherry? We had a pretty good race last night.
Speaking of Sherry, I believe she drives too, don't she?
Yes, sir. We're building her a car.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she'll be good at it.
We're gonna build her a little '66 Corvair.
Oh, Corvair. Boy,
Yeah.
that's a name I ain't heard of in a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She had one when she was younger.
Hmm.
She's a little girl.
Well, them Corvairs was a good car. Good, tough car. Had the motor in the back end of it.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in the front on this one.
Okay. I see you're going to run at North Alabama again next week.
Yeah, we're gonna be at North Alabama next 2 weeks in a row.
And then you go to Tennessee National. Where's that track located at?
Well, some people call it Hohenwald, Tennessee, and some people call it Summerville, Tennessee.
Okay.
It's right there. I guess I don't know for sure which little city it's closest to, but we call it Hohenwald. Hohen.
Yeah, I call it hole in the wall.
Yeah, hole in the wall. Yeah, that's a nice racetrack. We like it. Smoothest track I've ever been on.
Okay, and then let's see. You'll be back at North Alabama June 24th.
Yes, sir.
And then back to Tennessee National.
Yeah, that'll be for the 4th of July race.
Yeah, I see that, July 1st.
Yeah.
Is anything going to be special about that race? I mean, any kind of,
Well, we're going to have, they'll have fireworks. And I'm pretty sure we're going to do, all the race cars are going to carry the flag.
Oh.
You know, the American flag.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be and let me tell you, them people up there in Tennessee, they pack the stands. You know,
we love our racing up here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then you back to North Alabama.
Yeah.
And then Duck River. I think that's about the closest to me. I was telling Sherry when I was talking to her here a while back, I am going to try my best to get down to one of the Duck River races and do an interview and do some videoing down there. I've never been to Duck River, always wanted to be, and I hear that is a real nice track, real nice place to race.
It is. Yeah, I like that track.
Well, how big is that track?
Oh, it's right at 3/8.
About 3/8?
Yeah, it might be a little bit smaller than 3/8, but it's a nice track.
Okay. Like I say,
they reconstructed it a little bit and made turn 3 and 4. I believe it was 3 and 4. Made it a little bit wider.
Mm-hmm.
Here a while back, and they've done a great job. You can run 3 wide up there.
What degree banking does that track got?
Shoot, I couldn't tell you, but it's a little bit high banked. You know, a little bit more than some. It's probably one of the highest banked tracks we run on. It's not quite as banked as much as, say, the old Columbus Bull Ring in Columbus, Mississippi.
Yeah.
But it's a good bank track.
Okay, and then after July the 29th, you're at Duck River, and then August 19th, North Alabama, and then looks like you're going to have a 2-day race, the 25th and 26th of August at North Alabama too. That must be a big one.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Now let me go back here just a second. On June the 1st at North Alabama, that's on a Thursday night, and we're going to be up there with the USCS sprint cars. Pete Walton requested for us to be there with them that night, so we're looking forward to that race. That's going to be. I mean, we look forward to all of them, but that race right there is kind of special because he asked for us to be there that night.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Pete. He's the one that's over the USCS sprint cars.
I've heard the name, yes.
Yeah, Pete Walton.
And then September the 23rd, you're back at Duck River, and then October 7th, you're at Buckshot. Where's that at?
That's down in Clanton, Alabama.
Clanton, Alabama.
Yeah, and we've never been there, but we're really looking forward to going there.
Okay, and it looks like you're going to end the season October the 28th at Duff River.
Yes, sir. That's where we'll
Oh,
end our season at.
okay. Are at the end of the year, do you have like a points championship or anything?
We haven't had one this year. We are. We're gonna
Uh
have a banquet this year,
huh.
and trophies for all of our drivers. So it'll be. We're slowly getting there. We're
Mm.
growing. You know.
Well, if a is a racetrack promoter that is listening to this, how do they go about getting in contact with you, and how much does it cost to get you all to come to the track?
Well, they can call us and discuss that. But my phone number is 205-485-3328,
Mm-hmm.
and they can call me anytime, or they can message me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a track out there somewhere that'd like for us to come and race, just tell them to give me a call.
All right. And also on this cover sheet I've got, Johnny Miles, his name is on there. Can he be
Yeah,
contacted too?
yes, sir. He's one of the promoters also. You've got his number there, right?
Yeah. 256-764-0847.
Yes, sir.
Rawhide rods.
Yes, sir. He
And
builds these vintage cars too.
oh, he does.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And of course, the name of your business is Sutherland Race Cars.
Yes, sir.
205-485-3328.
Yes, sir.
Well, is there anything in closing that you would like to tell our listeners or audience uh, that to get them to come to? What can they expect when they come to see your race, your program?
They're gonna see a wild race when they see us race.
Well, that uh, that's what the
But
fans want. Fans want to be entertained, and this is kind of getting off the topic just a hair a little bit, I think. But I think that's one thing wrong with NASCAR. It's got away from its roots. It's not. It's too much show anymore.
well, they start now that they're getting back a little bit to the grassroots. They put dirt on Bristol and come down and race on Bristol on dirt, and they're getting some dirt track drivers driving some of them, up there. So yeah, I think if everything goes like I think it's going to, dirt track's going to be on top.
Well, it should be because that's where it started.
That's right.
Some of the best races I've ever seen has been on dirt track down here
Yeah,
in Sparta on
yeah,
at that little track.
yeah. Are they still racing?
No, that track, Sparta Speedway, it closed back in the early '80s. It got dozed down. I'm fortunate enough to own the guy that bought the property. He moved here from California, and he is a big racing fan. And last year, I actually done some podcasts from down there at the track. You can still see the outline of the track.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and he told me, he said, anytime you want to come down here and video and record, you can. And
What if we want to go down
oh,
there? What if we want to go down there with a bulldozer and fix it back?
there's a lot of people love to see that. There's a track out here. It's about, I want to say about 25 miles from me, Golden Mountain Speedway Park. I done a podcast on it, I think last year, and it is a real nice facility. Maybe the owner open it up one day. I mean, it's real nice.
Well, yeah,
It's at least 3/8 of a mile.
yeah,
Dirt,
that'd
but
be
maybe
nice.
they'll open it
Maybe we can talk him into it.
up. Maybe I'll wind up at Bristol one of these days.
I don't know. That's a pretty good sized track for
Half mile.
yeah, for what we're running. But I mean, I'm not above it.
Well, Wayne, it has been an honor and a privilege to talk to you. I wish you all continued success. And again, I appreciate y'all's patience with me getting this together. And anybody got any questions, just shoot Wayne a message on Facebook or call him at 205-485-3328. And this is a conclusion of Southern Dirt Motorsports podcast. I'm Steve Winstead, the host. We thank everybody for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Southern Dirt Motorsports. And remember, Southern Dirt Motorsports, Tennessee's first dirt podcast. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.